Homefront. This is one of my favorite episodes, right? It is our Gen Z episode. Always having Gen Z on every Friday, guys. This is a lot of fun. Welcome. If you want to hear even our young people have a free speech platform, then you've come to the right place. Welcome home. This is the Homefront. Guys, I like to get you on the first question.
Oh, no.
Usually we do like a would you rather or just something that's an icebreaker.
Yeah,
Allie
fun
says,
question.
I say oh no all the time because you scare me.
terrifying. Okay, well this one's kind of fun. Although, you know, we might want to be careful how much we disclose because we don't want the authorities knocking on your door. But
Why are you looking at me?
Right, Brianna.
whoa, being called out already, guys. If you could take
nothing.
if you could take one prop from a set, either on like a movie set or a TV show set, what prop would that be?
I have no
and
way
why?
to
And
defend
why?
myself.
Oh, that's easy.
I would take, you know the movie Avatar?
Yeah.
Like the blue people, right?
Yes.
Yes.
The Avatar baby.
Oh,
I want the Avatar baby.
You know, you can buy it. You can buy it. Yeah.
can?
So don't ask how I know this, but there's this thing called reborn babies. And that you can get a gorilla. You can get
buy
an
one of
actual
those.
baby.
Oh, you're talking about the really realistic babies, right?
I'm like,
Yeah.
I want an Avatar baby.
You can
That's-
get one.
as a prop. That's what,
Cool
that's what I
answer.
want.
ooh, Avatar baby on
Avatar
her
baby.
Christmas
Okay.
wish list. Okay.
I
Christmas present, anyone?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Dropping
love
hints.
that.
Dropping hints early.
Well, I'm
And my
Brianna.
birthday's before Christmas, though.
Yes, you
why?
are.
Why?
Because I just think they're so cute.
Okay.
I love that movie.
Just got your
It's a
joke.
great movie, but I think
Yeah,
I think it's
real.
really cute. I think it's cute. I have
Okay.
baby fever so bad, so I'm like,
Me
I need a
too.
baby.
Me too.
You should
Do you
have a
want
baby
one?
so that way I don't have to have one.
Okay,
Okay. For her sake.
we'll talk about this.
Okay.
So that way I don't have to
Well,
have one.
so I
Yes,
don't
you
have
are.
one. Can you Whoa! Let me finish.
All right.
I'm Brianna. And you know, Ashley looked over at me and judged me, and I really can't defend myself now because I actually did steal two props from two sets.
She just said we don't want the authorities at your house.
She goes, I
I
did
mean, they're
steal,
coming
by the
for
way.
us anyway. We're conservative.
It's
so
fine.
we might as
one,
well.
one I paid
Okay,
for
fine.
technically. It's the Spencer Reed from Criminal Minds. It's his bag.
His bag.
You have that?
cool.
Yeah.
The actual one.
The actual
That's
bag.
cool.
They had like
What?
multiple.
I
That's
love
really
him.
cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the other, I got it for Christmas, and I also got an autograph by him. Anyways,
With
and-
an XO. I was
yeah,
like, watch it.
XOXO,
I was like,
because he
watch it,
loves
dude.
me.
Yeah.
I might have to change my answer.
But then the other prop that I took was actually here because this set is also the set for the Flynn movie, and there was a hat, and I took it.
Oh,
General
that's the hat.
Flynn.
That's
I hope he's
the
watching.
hat. That's the hat. It's in my trunk.
I hope he's
Oh,
watching.
Why is it in your trunk?
Well,
Cause I need it for safekeeping.
safekeeping.
She's protecting it. Duh.
What about the Halo mask?
Ooh.
The helmet?
Okay, well, that goes in my answer. So
Oh, sorry.
no, that's not my answer, but it's close.
Oh.
I'm Camden. I was gonna say the Iron Man
Yes, you
suit.
were.
Iron Man suit?
Yes,
That's
that would be
good.
so cool to have.
That is
That was
good.
so. That's
That's
so
really
close to
good.
mine. So
Spider-Man.
close to
Yeah,
mine.
it's
You
just
know
so
they make
cool.
motorcycle helmets like that?
Like the Iron
Where,
Man.
like, literally.
Oh,
like,
that's cool.
it's mechanical and everything. It's
And
so
it
cool.
closes?
Yeah, the way
Yes.
it like comes up
Yes.
and then down.
It is
Did
so
you
cool.
see there's
So
this guy
sick.
on TikTok that made the
That's Spider-Man.
You're
No,
talking, yeah, you're talking
wait.
about
Oh.
Spider-Man.
Well, no, okay. There is a guy. There is a guy that made the. Well, there's also a guy that made the. Okay.
What is that?
The fire that comes out of his hands?
Oh, the lasers?
No, the fire.
The
that's
fireball.
what- that he like levitates
Oh,
himself.
yeah.
with.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a
The
blowtorch
jets.
to his
That's
hands.
awesome.
Alright,
Someone
alright.
did also make the.
I
But they
would-
also made a.
I would definitely take that if I could
Wow.
Okay,
Gen
fine.
Z speak.
Yes. There's a and a.
Okay, I'm Ashley, and
Yes, you are.
I
take. That was my joke.
thank you.
That was my
And
joke.
I would steal the couch from Friends, just so I'd have somewhere comfy to sit.
You can steal anything out of any movie. Any
So you're
picture.
taking
Yeah.
the couch.
And we would help you lift it, and we'd be like, pivot.
We get that call
Girls
3
versus
o'clock in the
boys.
morning. I need you to come with me. Don't ask any questions.
Oh my
Just make
God.
Get in the
sure
car.
you bring a back belt.
Yes, exactly.
Girls
I know
versus
how to
boys.
pivot, because we will need it.
Oh, that's
A
so
couch.
You had a pivot.
Yes, a couch. A couch.
Yes,
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to change mine.
Your
I have to
answer,
change
not
Okay,
mine
well, what was your
because-
first one
Well,
before
my
you changed
first one was going to be Thor's hammer.
See, that
Like
would
I
be
said,
cool
that
too.
big, and, you know, but now, after you said that, you know what I've always wanted, and I actually they have them for sale, like not the real one, but I want the picture frame from the back of the door on Friends. The yellow picture frame. It's around the little
The door.
The
The
little
the
Oh,
little
that's what you're talking about.
people.
Yeah.
The people, like it's a yellow picture frame around. You know?
Yeah.
The people from
Yeah,
Friends.
No.
We're gonna steal the
No,
people.
the people.
Oh,
Just not Matthew
people.
Perry.
I thought you said people.
Yes, we're-
Yeah.
Hey,
We're gonna go
come
steal
on.
the
Oh
people
my
from
God.
Fresh. They're
Sorry.
too. No,
I would
What
steal
is in your
Joey.
guys' coffee mugs today? Y'all are milk.
don't. No,
No, that's
actually.
milk.
It's the fact that it took y'all like 3 to 5 business days to realize what I said.
No, I
Too
understand
soon.
what you
Too
said.
soon.
No,
and
but
it
it was
almost
like-
made me cry.
There was like a 5 seconds there where you did not register.
Yeah.
Guys, so one of the things I wanted to do today,
I can't.
Oh God.
sometimes I think because we don't tune into lamestream media, we don't watch a lot of cable news. I think a lot of us really don't. We
Yeah,
kind
we
of
like
get
all turned it off because
We
it's all
have.
garbage.
absolutely, but then we don't know how crazy it's gotten out there. I want you to
That's
see.
true.
We're gonna play a clip. Or I think while he gets it loaded, this clip
Maybe
is
we'll
from.
pay.
It's from an episode of the show New Amsterdam. I was not real familiar with
I
it.
haven't seen that.
I've heard of it.
I'm
It's
not
in my
sure.
list in Netflix.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah,
Netflix,
okay.
right?
Was that a medical show?
Yes, there is some medical talk, and you're going to hear it in this clip as well.
I see some
This
women
is
like
an
Was he
episode
a
of.
surgeon?
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm trying to. Sorry.
I love it. You're so
You
cute.
asked me
Have
like
you
I know.
seen it?
It is a medical show.
Okay.
This is
I
a
don't know
clip
if
from
he's
New
a surgeon.
Amsterdam. I want you guys to hear this doctor explaining to this mom about her son's tumor and what he attributes the sudden growth of his tumor to be.
You okay?
Yeah, he's okay. I had Cephas answer some questions from a Harvard test known as UNREST. It is designed to measure someone's level of social resistance.
Social resistance.
When people like us oppose the values and policies of the dominant culture.
That's right.
And what does that have to do
Your
with
son, he feels threatened on a daily basis. Like everything he's earned can just be taken away. He's disenfranchised. But because his life is seemingly free from all this, because he can't name it, he's internalizing it.
Name what?
Racism. I think your son's tumor was caused by racism.
Wow.
That's gotta be a joke, right?
Are they serious right now?
Your tumor was caused by racism.
What?
Like global warming and
Guys,
what?
I think I'm developing a tumor because I'm not rich. Give me money. Give me money. Give me money.
You have a point, though.
Yes, that.
Oh my
I identify
gosh.
as poor and I have a medical condition
That's
that
insane.
I need money for.
Yes.
Insane.
That,
So
like, what? How can they even act like? I swear that's comedy.
Dude, I don't know how they keep a straight face. I'm sorry. I used
And
to
they
do
all
acting.
kinda
I
look
would
at
not
each
be
other.
I wouldn't be able to.
No.
Yeah, that was weird.
that's weird.
Weird.
And
That's
they're
how
so
far it's
sincere.
gotten, but we don't see that because we don't tune in.
Yeah, we're not always watching that stuff.
I'm so sorry, but your son's dying from racism.
Racism.
Oh my god.
That needs to be a TikTok.
Yes.
That is what? What? I can't.
Yes.
It's weird.
I no mention of turbo cancers because of vaccinations
No.
or, all the heart complications from people that have, are vaccine injured. I know we've shared with that Ashley.
Me.
She's had some issues with the vaccine. Can't find treatment because nobody will actually diagnose it and put a name on it.
Right.
How does that make you feel that TV shows like that are?
I mean, it's just kind of weird.
Your
Like,
tumor's racist.
Yeah, like I don't know how you can affiliate A with B. No. But I think like especially after being diagnosed with what I have after my vaccine, it's definitely like annoying. I
Mhm.
guess. Like I
Mhm.
think that's the word.
It's almost making fun of stuff.
Yeah,
like
it's like you're belittling what
actual
is actually
problems.
going on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a gaslight.
Yeah. So that it's just kind of like, what's your problem?
I
Like,
think-
why are you doing that?
I think it's funny because nowadays I feel like they do kind of contribute everything to racism. It's like, that's racist. That's because it's racist. It's systemic racism, whatever, all that stuff. So now they're putting in that.
Yes.
What?
Well, it's just
like
another.
COVID.
It's just
Yeah.
another thing.
Disproportionately
Yeah.
affected Black people.
But it's just
Yeah.
another thing
and
of like,
global warming.
yeah, it's
disproportionate.
grooming.
It is.
still.
Yes.
I'm
Like
sorry.
Yeah.
that's exactly
I think-
that's how I
That's
think of it.
Absolutely.
Like you're gonna have these younger kids who have Netflix and you know, watching that and be like, oh my gosh, you can get
If I'm
tumors
racist,
from-
I'm gonna be a
I'm gonna get a tumor from being
racism?
racist,
What?
or like,
It's hysterical.
yeah, I don't get that.
And it's just funny to me because I have black friends and they're not like that. It's the people that are claiming like, oh, that's racist. It's all these like
It's white
it's
liberal
white-
women.
Yeah.
Privileged white people.
liberals
Women.
that are just like guilt. They feel guilty. And it's like if you feel guilty, go like get a job cleaning shoes or like as a slave. Go be a slave
Yes.
and then you
Cleaning
there.
shoes.
You'll level the field if you feel that guilty.
Yes, exactly. I couldn't believe it when I watched this. I first laughed. I spit out my coffee.
Well, yeah, it's like a joke.
But it's and then for them all, you know, Brian, I know you've done some acting, but to sit there and be like, in the music, and
You
you're
could
like
not
looking-
pay me enough.
I could not.
How do you not? How
I
do you not
couldn't do
laugh?
it. I couldn't do it. I would bust out laughing.
I would.
They would have to
I mean,
fire me.
imagine them when they're reading the script. They're reading the script.
I
like,
know. They're like,
what?
what? I'm sure. Because you have to do a dry run, right?
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
it several times.
Yeah.
And you have to read the script.
Yeah.
And you gotta,
Yeah.
you know, position yourself. Like, and then you have to do it like 800 times in order for it to go and make it to the screen. I don't.
I couldn't.
Me neither. It's dumb.
Okay, so we're not alone in our principles. What are you guys noticing on mainstream TV if you're watching any of news or if you're watching? I will admit, sometimes I, like in preparation for things like the debate or whatever, I will tune in to just see what the heck are y'all doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it is
it's good.
crazy. It is crazy.
It's good to know what the other side is saying so that you can prepare your rebuttal.
Yeah.
Because that makes sense. If you don't know what their talking points are,
Yeah.
you can't effectively argue their argument,
Right.
which is the point.
People just have to see that it's so biased.
Yes.
Like CNN
God, I
hates
hope
Trump.
so.
Every single person on there hates Trump. It's so obvious. But the
Right.
people watching are just like brainwashed to believe everything.
Yes.
So it's kind of scary that that's the main media.
Tumors
It is.
caused by racism.
Tumors
I
caused-
was like, I can't wait to do a live on that. Like, I seriously, I want that clip, and I want to go. Did you guys know that tumors can be caused by racism? Like, it's.
I wonder
Can you
like what
imagine
the
how many
rest of it
tumors
is.
Trump
I wonder
has
what the
from
rest
all
of it
the
is
stuff
with
that's on him?
like if they go into depth of it and being like, oh, like what do you mean? Like I wonder if they explain themselves.
Like, if anybody
within
actually
that,
asked
you know what I'm
questions
saying?
them.
Yeah, who can like put two like the math isn't mathing.
No,
No,
it's
no.
not.
No.
Like, what,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have racist cells that
Yeah.
metastasize
that's
and
what- I
clump
wonder-
together to create a
I
tumor.
wonder
like,
if like in the rest of it, if it goes into like, oh well, this is how it was formed because of the racism.
no.
Like how are you, you know, correlating?
Essentially,
you
you
can't.
know,
But
I wonder
essentially
how
what
they
he's
make
but
it
I
make
want to
saying.
know
sense.
how they're making it make
So
sense.
essentially, what they're saying is like because when I got out of the military, I had what I thought I was pregnant. I had all of the symptoms. My stomach was bigger. I looked like I was pregnant. But when I went for an ultrasound, there was no baby.
Mhm.
And they're like, "Oh, you thought it up. Like you thought yourself pregnant." And I was like, "Huh?
like a placebo.
Like
thing?
you can do that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And so that's kind of where I think this whole segment was going towards was like he's trying to pinpoint that the underlying issue is a mental health problem. Like you're holding on to something that you can't control. And so because you're holding on to that, you're creating some kind of mass cell situation that is making you sick. I mean, there is evidence of that you can do that. You can make
Yeah, it's
yourself
like an
sick
I
in
ulcer.
like
believe
a
it. I
local
think
way.
the mind is super powerful.
Absolutely, but to actually metastasize that way, I don't think
tumor
that
to grow
to
a
grow
tumor.
like that. I don't think
Right, yeah.
that is
And this
possible
is
in
the
that
this
way.
is the party
But
of,
it's gaslight.
science. Follow the science. Follow the experts.
Yeah.
That is
And
scientific.
these are the actors that will come out and be like, "Let's vote for Joe Biden."
I know,
like,
I know.
it just. Ugh.
Okay, so we are all equally
Pivot.
disgusted.
What has happened?
I don't know how anyone can watch that and take
What has
seriously.
happened to our
but-
entertainment industry, bro?
It's gone to garbage.
It's weird.
It has.
Down the
Oh my God!
disposal. What?
Sorry.
Whoa.
Did you
That was
see the new
rude.
Star Wars? The
Yeah, Acolyte.
Yes.
No.
Is it
Wait,
true
what?
they canceled it? I sure
They
hope
better.
so. Because the producers, the
happened?
writers have never even watched Star Wars. And when you interview them, they say, "Oh, this is the gayest Star Wars we've ever had."
Yeah, two lesbians make a baby in the show.
Yeah, there's
it's
lesbian
ridiculous.
witches using the Force. There was never a witch. Witches use magic. Jedis and they use the Force.
Totally.
It's
Witches
so
have
woke.
nothing to do with Star
Wow.
Wars.
It's so woke. Like it's not even Star
Oh,
Wars
I've
at
never
all.
seen Brianna that.
I've never
episode.
seen Star
because
Wars.
I'm gonna need
It doesn't resemble-
George Lucas, if you're paying attention to our show, which I hope you are, buy back the rights from Disney so you can create Star Wars to be what it originally is supposed to be,
How
and
about
not this
hire people
garbage.
who have actually seen the freaking Star Wars
Yeah.
series?
Brianna's really mad.
Yeah,
No,
well, this
because-
is what happened with The
That's
Witcher.
Stupid.
Have you ever seen The Witcher?
Mm.
Oh my gosh, you guys
No.
don't play video games.
I'm sorry, but how stupid can you be?
I don't know.
That's like hiring someone for the new Hunger Games that has never seen the Hunger Games. Like,
Clearly, because
yeah.
the second movie was terrible.
I loved
Wait a
it.
minute.
No, it
I
did not
love
follow the
all
story
of
at all.
those.
I loved it. I didn't read the book, so
That's the problem.
I live in the Hunger Games. This is Biden's
this
America.
Is, yeah, right.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen the
right.
new one.
I'm waiting for them to call for tribute. Like, I just
Send me.
I'm waiting. I'm just waiting. That's like every time we watch the gala, like the
Yes,
Met Gala.
yes.
That's exactly what that looks like to me.
It
Yeah,
does.
it does.
It does, Allie.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
See,
What's her
Lady
name?
Gaga
Effie?
showing up in her like.
Effie?
reading-
Yeah,
I've said that
Effie?
before.
I think Effie. Yeah.
Effie?
Yeah.
Have you
So
said
weird.
that? I'm
I
sorry.
have said that
I
before.
heard it for the first time just now.
So it's okay when I don't. It's okay when
But
you
who's
don't
the guy
say
that
it when
plays
I don't say it.
Superman?
Which one?
The newer one
I don't know. I haven't
with the
seen it.
jawline.
With the jawline. That's how you recognize
The
him?
brunette guy?
Yes.
That's how you recognize him?
Yes.
Wait,
he's
there's a
also
new
the Witcher.
Superman?
The brunette guy with like the
Yeah, I didn't know
super
that.
sharp jawline
There's a
and
new
his
Superman?
cheekbones
Yes.
are really pronounced.
Crimson Chin.
He's so handsome.
I don't know. I don't know what his name is,
That's
but
how you
I
define
can
him?
picture him.
Yeah.
We will
Not
Google
the
it during the
smart,
commercial break and we'll let you
talented
know.
actor, the
Right.
one
Well,
with the jawline.
and this goes to what we were talking about, how like they've changed Star Wars. Well, he stopped being the Witcher because they were going against what the actual storyline
Good.
was.
I like him more now.
Right, and so he's
I
just
don't know
like,
who he
I
is.
can't even.
See-
He doesn't, because he was literally the walking encyclopedia for this movie. Like he knew
Yeah.
every aspect,
Good for
every
him.
ins and outs, and they were trying to replace him with the lesser Hemsworth. And I'm like, absolutely not. He is not a Witcher. No. You think when you think of Witcher, you think of this guy. You don't think of
What
the
is
other
his
dude.
See, that reminds me
I
of
can't remember his name though.
That reminds me of there's this book. It's my favorite book. It ends with us, and they were trying to make a movie about it. And oh
Did
my
you see
god,
it?
no, I've not seen it. It's not done yet. They're trying to make a movie about it. It's absolutely
not even
horrible.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
Did you see it?
How do you know the movie's horrible?
How do you know it's horrible if it's not?
Because I've looked at the casting, it does not
Oh.
make sense.
Oh.
I've looked at the outfits and the wardrobe, it does not make sense. We've seen a little bit of the script. It's not.
Interesting,
They're doing
interesting.
a
Lamestream
disservice.
media. So, guys, you need to know that Patriot TV is on Roku. If you go
Yes.
to your Roku app, you can get Patriot TV. There will be a lot more content coming out on Patriot TV. And if you go to the homefront.tv, you will see a lot more content there. I want to get a quick word in right now by America's General Michael Flynn. We'll be right back with more of the Homefronts. Stay tuned.
My name is General Mike Flynn, and I've had a chance to observe the great work of our home front team. These women believe in America. They strongly believe in America. So what I'd ask everybody to do is to subscribe to their show and the exclusive behind-the-scenes content, and you can subscribe at thehomefront.tv. That's thehomefront.tv. I also want you to check out my documentary, where you will see how parts of our government are weaponized against the American people. This documentary has vital insights that you will need in the coming weeks and months. Get it at flynnmovie.com. That's flynnmovie.com. God bless you, and God bless America.
Sounds rolling. All 3 cameras. We're good. Speed.
Is there any regrets that you have in life? I should sit here and say, yeah, I got a lot of regrets. But when I look back on my life and I understand the lives that were lost, I mean, I'm sitting here with you. And I can tell my story.
Former National Security Advisor Lieutenant General Michael Flynn pleaded guilty today to lying to the FBI.
He was one of the most respected generals in the military.
He was, by definition, the most dangerous possible person for Donald Trump to hire.
Brilliant military career serving 33 years.
Why was he being so elusive?
Mike Flynn told the truth and faced life in prison.
Hi guys, welcome
No way,
back to the
cuz.
home front. I don't know what happens here during commercial breaks. We're doing so good, and then we just lose it, and we come on. But it's so entertaining.
It's
We
so good.
created a way
Tips and tricks.
for you to see a lot of
No text on tips. What?
a lot of what happens behind the scenes. Oh my gosh, stay focused.
Yeah.
The homefront.tv is where
Guys.
you can go. Oh my gosh, I love you
We
guys.
have too many like inside jokes. Like
I know.
if you pay to become a premium member, like you'll be in on the inside.
You're doing
jokes.
good for yourself.
I was like so serious. I think I'm gonna carry around my 1776 necklace. And if you come up to me and you find me, see me somewhere, and you tell me one of our inside jokes, like you say something funny that you've
Like,
seen,
spank me.
right? I'll give you a necklace. Like that's where I'm at.
I want to do
Let's do
that.
it. Pull up. Let's go.
Pull up.
Oh my god. She's gonna pull up.
This is our Gen Z
But watch it
episode.
because I live in Florida. So
We
oh my
love our
God.
Gen Z panel. Guys, I want to ask you guys specifically this question. And Allie, because you've been former military, I want to ask you your opinion on this too. So I touched on this on our news program on Up News, but I want to get your point of view. The draft obviously is something that we've instituted before in this country. Selective service we've had where if you're between the ages of 18 and 24, you in some ways you're mandated to sign up as a male when you go to get any kind of funding for schooling. If you want to, when you fill out your FAFSA form, that's one of the requirements. Joe Biden just increased it to 18 to 26-year-olds. Some people are arguing, is it going to include women?
It is.
Well, they're talking about it.
And part of the reason why is because if they say just men, ages 18 to 26, what stops somebody from saying they now identify as a woman to avoid
That's the
selective
door that
service?
they decided to open.
Mhm.
And now that they're in a war that they're funding both sides of, and they want to send our young daughters and our young boys to go fight, now they have to kind of close that door and define what a woman is, but they can't because then they lose their base.
And they wanted equality, right, for girls. They wanted complete, like the feminist movement wants equality completely.
right.
Well, you asked for it.
I was
don't agree
watching
with
a
it.
podcast with
Oh,
one
yeah.
of
I don't
I
want
believe
equality
Royce White.
anymore.
I don't agree with
I don't want
it,
equality
but that's what they
anymore. I wanna
wanted.
do the
So
cooking and the
Right.
cleaning.
Well, I was watching a podcast with Royce White. He's a basketball player. He plays for the Big Three. Go Power.
oh yeah,
And he was on doing this podcast, and the guy that he's being interviewed by literally said the same thing. He was like, if you want equal everything, then arm up.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
I'm
don't-
good.
It doesn't need to happen because what's gonna happen to all those kids at home? That the young girls, like, what if they? It's gonna end up making a lot of people not have kids if the girls are scared about that. and
Right.
All that those issues, but also if girls they can't. The one thing that I'll say is they can't lower the requirements. They can't lower the standard if they're gonna make girls have to.
Well, the standards
Well,
are already low. I
Yeah,
mean, and you
they
do
are,
have
you're right.
do already
If they
have
do that,
separate.
though,
You do already have separate standards now because women are allowed in the military, and now we have women that are allowed in infantry units, which
Right.
is like wild. That used to not be a thing. I don't know why that's like.
if it's a
has
draft,
been-
though, if the
infantry
girls
is
are
just like-
drafted too, it has to be.
Infantry
same
is the
standard.
ones that are literally front lines. Like they're the
Yeah.
first to go.
Oh,
So
Well-
it's usually you have like backup units, and women
Yeah.
are in like comms
I feel
units
like-
or like things like that. But now
I've
we
seen
have.
some strong women though.
Right,
I feel like
well,
it's fine.
I agree with that. I mean, if that's something that you want to do, baby girl, go ahead.
You
and
should
do.
be able to sign
But
up
I
for
don't
that.
think
Yeah,
that
if
it
you
should
want
be.
to.
If
Yes,
you want,
if that's
you
something
should be
you
able
want
to
to do.
decide.
Well,
that. That's
if
not,
girls
I'm
are
not getting put
required-
on front line.
18
No
and
way.
26-year-old girls, that's a
That's
liability
going
to
to
the
bring
military.
back.
Absolutely.
There's some
track
plus girls
lives.
that wouldn't.
Yeah. Wait,
like
what?
strong women can, but
Right.
most girls aren't as strong as you. You know.
Well, no, but and so most women that end up in the military either end up hurt, right? Because it's a lot of like extraneous on the body.
Right.
And there's a lot of rape. There's a lot of
Yes.
women that go to these units where it's co-ed. A lot of women end up pregnant because that's just part of it. I mean, you're trauma bound with everybody you're in service with because nobody else understands what you're going through but the person next to you, whether it's male or female. So you have like this trauma bond, which is comforting. But then you also need a way to get rid of that stress, and sex is a way to get rid of stress. So what do you do after you are in combat for 12 hours? You either, you know what I'm saying?
So it
you
happens
have,
a lot.
it happens a lot more than people want to talk about. And so I don't think that it's a safe environment for women.
Yeah.
So I don't think a compulsory draft for women is necessary. But again, this door's been left wide open with the trans movement.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I don't think
And
there's
the
I don't
feminist
think there's a
movement.
need for a draft
That
no matter
too.
what. Like, either
Exactly,
way,
well,
there's
because-
no need.
No, we
Well, it
shouldn't be
takes-
going to
We keep
war.
starting wars that we can't
Well, and
fight.
it takes
Right.
an act of Congress to declare war.
Yeah.
So let's be
And we
very
haven't
clear.
been.
Officially, there has not been a declaration of war, but let's be clear, we have been in endless wars. They
Yeah.
keep us involved indirectly, financially. There's that financial. I did not. Somebody told me the other day, my mind blew, that we've had troops on the ground in Ukraine. We, American soldiers, have been on the ground in Ukraine. What the hell are we doing there?
let's just say for a second that Biden issues a draft and women aren't picked, like it's just men. My boyfriend shall identify as a female, and I shall identify as a lesbian until it's over.
Well,
I
but
mean,
that
but I wonder how many
also,
people will do
I
that.
really think that leads to bigger issues.
Yeah.
If all of our men go fight, who's left to protect
Yeah.
our women and
That's
children?
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Sure.
I'm about to start tweaking like, oh,
And
in
in
between
the times where, in World War II, when that happened and people left to go fight the Nazis, we did not face a huge invasion at our southern border like we're dealing with now. We have nothing
Yeah.
but fighting age males that have really come across our border. What did we just find out recently? ISIS is in the human trafficking business because they found out, oh, wait, you're making money? Let's jump in.
What's
400 people that have come across the border that they know of, that said, oh yeah, how did we get here? We were funneled through ISIS. ISIS, one of the largest terrorist organizations. You want to talk about 9/11? You want to talk about how we fought this for 19 plus years? It's right here now on our soil. And they want, if they send our young men and our middle-aged men, whatever, over to fight in a war somewhere else, I believe we could be in jeopardy in this country. Because
Absolutely.
who do we have left? We're going to
And then they're
have
talking about bringing veterans in. Like, I don't know anybody that's willing to put combat boots on to go fight a
not
Joe
for this
Biden
government.
war.
Mm-mm.
That's the problem. Back in when it
Trump
was World War II, everyone wanted to
Yes.
come show up for their
Same
country.
with 9/11.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
just it's not even our fault right now.
But
Like
it's
Joe
not our
Biden's
fault. Like it's
the border stuff makes it a liability to even like what you're saying to go to war because now
Yeah.
you take all those men away from the families and the houses and then what?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well,
Scary.
we were also talking about, you talk about things that aren't our fault or things that we want to stand behind our government, but our government, you guys probably already know this, went and okayed U.S. missiles to be launched from Ukraine into Russia.
Yeah.
So you start to think about how that's not a representative of how we are in America, of what we feel, of what we want. It's not even what we voted for. If you actually tore apart those omnibus bills in Congress, you would see that if they just had to vote on Ukraine war funding, nobody would do it because their constituents do not want it. They have to
Right.
lump it in with Israel. They have to lump it in with all these other things. And this is what kills me. Oh my gosh, you get conservative congressmen and women who come home and tell their constituents that they voted for, they're pro-Israel, they voted for funding for Israel. You know what? You lacked the cojones to break that bill apart and vote
They sneak
separately.
in all those little
Vote
things.
separately,
Yeah.
yes,
Big things.
absolutely. Omnibus. So does it bother you that they increased the age? Now they're saying 26 years of age?
I don't know. I mean,
Where does it end?
yeah, where's the end? I think it's a huge voting point for anybody watching
Yeah.
or that are thinking about voting.
Right.
Like this is a huge pivot point in our government.
Mm-hmm.
Like we gotta change something right now.
A vote for Joe Biden is a vote to go to war.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a vote to send
Look
our
at
kids
the
to war.
peace we had around the world with Trump.
Absolutely.
And then look at where we're at
No
now.
wars,
4 years
no
later, we have
nothing.
4 different wars going on in different places that wouldn't have happened under Trump.
Nope. This is the direct result of weak leadership.
And that's why we gotta stop looking at the
Toxic
the,
men
the personality stuff.
in positions of power.
Why are we looking at the personality?
No, but this is what I'm saying.
real stuff.
Yeah.
People aren't looking at the big issues like that. They're looking at, oh, he's kind of mean, so I don't want to vote for him.
Yeah.
This is our
I'd
country.
rather have-
This is our country.
Exactly.
I'd rather have
Exactly.
somebody mean
Yeah.
running my country.
Absolutely.
Please give me mean
somebody
tweets.
mean
Yeah.
that's going to say, Mexico, if you don't do what we're asking you to do, we're going to triple your tariffs.
Yes.
Or North Korea, China, if you don't do what we're going to ask you to do, we're going to triple your tariffs. Like,
Yeah.
that's mean. I'd rather have that
Me too.
than to have a toxic, weak man who has to be propped up and used as a puppet and injected with God knows what
Yeah.
for 7 days before he has a debate. Like I'd rather have the strong leader.
Yeah.
The strong leader.
People vote on the little emotions about, oh, we're inclusive to everybody. We love everybody. Biden, their administration, but they're the ones that are dividing us more than anything.
Right.
That is so true.
If we bring Trump back into office, we're gonna unite again.
Yes.
And I think that's the only way out of the war stuff. You got to have a strong commander in chief, and Joe Biden's not that.
Guys, I just
Biden's-
want low gas prices again.
And that, I mean,
Yeah.
You just want what?
Facts.
low gas prices again.
Low gas prices.
Or just low living
Low
prices.
living
Yes.
prices.
Guys,
I can't think of a way that my life was better under Biden than Trump.
It
I
hasn't
can't
been.
think of any aspect.
Hasn't
It's like
been.
every single category. Sometimes there's like certain things, but this one, it's obvious.
Dude, I can't even do anything with my kids for this summer. Like,
I know.
Yes.
I got friends that are like, oh, we're going to go here. We're going here. And I'm like, yeah, we're just going to go to the pool.
Yeah.
I was 9. I was
I'm
9.
going to make some sandwiches. Peanut butter jelly.
It's really like that, though. It's dumb.
Like,
I was 9 and I remember how good it was.
Yeah.
So
Don't you remember how much happier we were?
we were so happy.
Well, and the problem is too that when you have somebody like Biden in office who's been doing this for really as long as I've been alive,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember thinking when he was running for office first as president, I thought, what are you possibly going to promise that you're going to do that you couldn't have tackled in the 4
40
decades
years,
you've been
right.
doing this? Like,
And then as a VP, like, so I've noticed too that vice presidents make terrible presidents.
Yes.
Case in point, Joe Biden.
yeah. Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Very good point.
It's terrible.
He doesn't even know what he's doing. It's kind of sad what they're making him do because it's not
like
him.
elder
He's
abuse.
literally a
Oh,
puppet.
you reap what you sow, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
But
It's,
listen, it feels like the Oz. It feels
It
like I'm
does.
waiting for
No,
them
for
to
sure.
pull back the curtain and go, oh, it's been Obama the
Well,
whole
no,
time.
I saw
yeah,
a
but what
twi-
did
a
he
tweet
do when
like that.
he was sane? When he was like actually conscious and good?
Did Sam Sorbo say something about that in her last show where she was talking about how it was intentional that Barack Obama grabbed him by the wrist? Like,
Yes.
that's an intentional grab. Like, I do that to my kids when I'm trying to reel them in.
Well,
like,
that's what he's doing.
and that's exactly what she was talking about. She's like, that is an intentional grab. That's an intentional, situation where you're grabbing someone to pull their attention away from whatever it is that they're doing. And you can see he's like a child. So it's obvious. And that's like the signal to the world that, like, Biden is not in control.
And that's our
guys.
leader, like
Right.
leader.
Of the free world.
That's crazy.
Oof.
That's
Ooh.
crazy.
That's
shivers.
81 million votes.
Yeah.
Took us.
Yeah, right.
Took us.
Yeah,
Took us.
right.
We're going to say took us. On that
Don't
note,
look
we
at
are
me
going
like
to
that.
take another
I
quick
don't know.
break, guys. You're going to
Greek.
see a quick behind the scenes of what you'll get when you become a premium member at the Homefront.tv. We'll be back with more Homefront, so stay with us.
Hi, Homefront family. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know what? You have a special opportunity to see a little bit more behind the scenes. If you subscribe, only premium members, tell them what they're going to see, guys.
I don't know if you're ready for this.
I
I
don't
know
think
that
they
we
are.
always say this on the show. Like, what if they could see behind the scenes of every episode or every time we break? Like, I don't know if you guys are ready for this. We're quite wild on the show, but behind
All
the
the
scenes,
time.
it's even better.
Like, for example, today we're on the road. We're in West Palm, and I would have loved for you to see when we were packing the RV.
Dude,
the
yes.
SUV.
Oh my gosh, this little Latino woman hops in the back of this little van
Plug
or
right
whatever
in.
it is, this little SUV, and just starts loading it. And she's like, I ain't waiting on the men, and I was like, absolutely, because if you ask me to do it, it'll take 3 to 5 business days. So the Latino woman just
So
gets
we
started.
did it. So we did it.
Yes. And then our actual car showed up, and we had
Yes,
to
finally.
unpack
After
the
we
SUV.
already packed. Oh my
Yes,
God.
and repack it. And this one is in the back in the trunk, just pulling all the stuff in. It was great. It was, I really wish we would have recorded that.
Well,
It
and
was
it's
fantastic.
the stuff too when we're in the studio, the stuff that ends up on the cutting room floor.
Oh
I mean,
my gosh, like during the commercial breaks where we're always talking about like, oh my gosh, if you could only see what happens during the commercial break. Well, now you can. You're welcome.
There you go.
And when
Click
we
on
come
that.
back, we're always laughing. I'm sure
Yes,
you
now
guys
you'll
are
know why.
trying to figure out what
Do you want
happened.
in on the inside joke?
Yes, you do. I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
You are going to have to subscribe. Our premium members only get the behind the scenes. It's kind of like when you're at somebody's house and you knock on the door and they don't quite invite you in. That premium membership is coming into
Wide
Kick
open.
your shoes off for a while. I love it. You're gonna. Oh, they can even get behind the scenes when we're traveling.
Fantastic.
When we're putting our makeup on, when we're
Right.
doing
Yes,
our
like
hair.
getting ready before the
Yes,
episode. You guys have you're in store for some great content. Okay, in store for some great content. Just saying.
Hi, this is Raj Doraisamy. We are right here in the middle of it all, here at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And all around us, I see Americans that are excited about the possibility of what might happen in November. I also see a huge presence of law enforcement dedicated to keeping us safe and secure. This is really a pivotal time, as you know, where people that previously may not have even known about the Republican National Convention are actually now here. People who are concerned about where the country is going, even though they don't have any interest in politics whatsoever. But there's a lightning rod moment when the President of the United States and an assassination attempt was happened, and it happened by a 20-year-old young man who somehow penetrated the most elite security organization in the world. It's a telling example of the breakdown in our government, a misprioritization of woke agenda, DEI, instead of working for result-based performance. And this is one of the places where the results of such a planned type of strategy is showing its ugly head. Not only are we having problems in supply chain, not only are we having problems with regard to work ethic, not only are we having problems with basic honesty from the most highest offices in the world, but we're actually having complete and utter breakdowns in organizations that are entrusted to keep us safe. So if you're watching this and you also concerned, I urge you to go to homefront.tv/premium, because at homefront.tv/premium there's material, resources, instructions, guides to take you, the person who previously was not engaged, like myself, previously not informed, like myself, and turn you into an individual in your community that's taking responsibility for what's happening in your community, not leaving it to someone else. My friends, our status quo is a result of too many of us leaving it to someone else. It's now time for us to be we the people, government of the people, by the people, for the people. And that means you and I taking action. Please go to homefront.tv/premium. At homefront.tv/premium, you will see guidance and information from people like Dennis D'Souza, Roger Stone, General Flynn, Mike Lindell, icons in the movement, explaining to you how you can go from a state of being uninformed, unengaged, uninterested, to taking small actions in your community that you can do, that are practical to do, but with the collective force of multitudes of people taking these actions, you can turn the tide. How? You can turn the tide on the ethics within your community. You can turn the tide on making sure that your kids are getting a robust education that's actually equipping them for their future work, not trying to brainwash them on some woke agenda or some ideology that's being infiltrated by people who have a political motive. You can take responsibility and effect change on how your law enforcement works. There are so many communities in our country right now that have an escalation of human trafficking, where it is no longer safe for American children to walk unattended, and where law enforcement is turning a blind eye to this emerging lethal threat. There are so many places, my friends, where your involvement is absolutely necessary. And when it comes to elections, the elections in your community are actually governed by your county officials, not by Washington, not by someone at the national level, but by someone in your county. And if you go through the training, you will see how you can engage with these officials and urge them and encourage them and motivate them to do the right thing so that your election process are secure, are transparent, are reliable. Raj Doraisamy reporting live from the RNC here in Milwaukee. Hi, this is Raj Doraisamy reporting live from the Republican National Convention here in Milwaukee. Fantastic speakers coming one after the other, and this is really a demonstration of how the American people, now frustrated by 4 years of incompetence, are celebrating the potential of something new coming on the scene.
So we just saw what happened to Secret Service. A 20-year-old kid penetrates the most secure agency in the planet.
Right.
We're seeing what's happened in the border.
Right.
Both of these organizations, the border and Secret Service, report to Mayorkas. Why is the U.S. House continuing to fund this guy? Why don't they defund this guy?
I wanted to do that in last year's budget, but a lot of other members made that decision to continue that funding. As far as I'm concerned, funding the Department of Homeland Security that doesn't even secure our own borders, let alone anything else, to me is irresponsible. And I think that it doesn't matter if you're in or out of an election year, you have to do the right thing by the American people. So until they get their act together, we have to seriously look at taking away funding. And I want to be clear on this, from the political brass of that agency, because you have a lot of great men and women who are on the front lines who want to do the right thing, but unfortunately a lot of times in our politics, politics, the political brass, they get in the way of making sound, common sense decisions that serve the American people or serve the security of whether it's President Trump, President Obama, President Bush, President Clinton. You got to make sure that you have people who are doing the job, not just playing politics in those agencies, no matter where they are.
And to be specific on that, sir, just two examples. There's so much DI that's made its way into the Secret Service. We saw the mishandling of the personnel just fumbling, trying to reholster the weapon when they were trying to extract the president. And we see the lack of morale there. So yeah, the political maladministration part of it seems to be something that your organization, the House actually, could really put some teeth behind defunding.
Yeah, I mean, look, the first order of business is making sure, which, man, like if it were just up to me, we would have pulled all that stuff out of there. We'd have just told the agencies, you cannot fund it. That is not allowed. Because when it comes to these agencies, it is about merit, first, second, and third. It's about your ability to actually do the job, whether it's securing the president or whether it's actually protecting our veterans or providing our veterans the care that they so richly deserve. No matter what the mission is, it's about merit and getting that job done. Everything else falls behind that.
We're here with Michael Thompson. Michael Thompson, you are shaking things up in your county, and you just were with Byron Donaldson. What's this event like for you here, being at the RNC in Milwaukee?
You know, it's amazing. It really is fun. You know, I've been to a lot of events and things like that, but, you know, the excitement that this one has, you know, with the stakes that it, you know, has, the implications that it has with it. You know, especially after 3-4 days ago, what happened with President Trump, it really just brings everything into reality. This is really the Super Bowl that's going on right now. We're living in a time that people are going to look back 100 years from now and say, my God, you know, just look at everything that was going on. The excitement here is unbelievable. Secret Service has got this place on lockdown.
It's so tight. In fact, there was a shooting just a couple of hours ago. That's how chaotic things are. But it all comes down to local, Michael. And what because this is your Republican National Convention, but everything happens here only occurs from what's happening on local. So talk to us about what's needed on the local, because things are shaking up, and you're shaking things up in your county.
Yeah, you got to get active. You got to get local. That's where it really counts the most. You're not going to be able to sit here and affect a whole lot of change, you know, talking with people up in Washington, getting them to do this and do this. These people are, they're at a different level of politics. Local politics and state politics, in my opinion, is the absolute most critical, specifically at the state level. But once you get down into the county level, that's where it really brings out the grassroots. That's where the passion comes out. That's where we win elections. You know, that's where we hold our elected officials accountable. You know, we are the people, we are the party. You know, the elected officials probably should stay elected and out of the party, because the party belongs to the grassroots. We the people, not elected officials.
Well said, well said. We're talking to Michael Thompson, and we're here in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention. Thanks for talking to us.
I'll give you an analogy.
Well, no, I'm asking.
Your kid was in a school, and somebody came in and took one of those kids and held them hostage.
You mean like what Hamas did?
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. What Hamas did. Yeah.
So let's say then let's blow up the whole school.
I'm going to go to the end of the earth. I'm going to go to the end of the earth to rescue my family. And here's what needs.
And that's what Palestinians do for their families.
And here's what needs to happen.
That's what Palestinians do for their children that are being illegally assaulted, detained, sexually assaulted inside.
Okay. So here's what needs to happen. If they want peace, all the people, the Palestinians, need to go into the rat holes. They need to go into the bottom.
You're a racist. You are a Palestinian racist.
I'm just saying.
There's no such thing as a rat hole.
Tunnels, whatever word you want to use.
Racist.
Okay. So
that's a racist.
See when you start debating, you guys got to leave.
You're mega rat hole.
See, that's what happens.
I can talk.
So when the Hamas terrorists go underground, they hide in schools, they hide in churches, they hide under people, right? This is how it gets solved. No, this is how it gets solved. They've been standing here for like a half an hour. I wanted one question asked. And they weren't even willing to stay around for that because they started getting pushback. Huh?
I heard a lot of statements, but I didn't hear a question.
Well, no, there was many questions. Like, you know, if you wanted ceasefire, what about the ceasefire before October 7th? There was a ceasefire. There was a theological ceasefire. I understand.
There was an answer, though. I didn't agree with it, but there was an answer.
Okay,
the answer was the Palestinians didn't feel that way.
Okay, well, why wouldn't, if you all have to choose between two people, Biden and Trump, why wouldn't you choose Trump because of the Abraham Accord? Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely.
Former state attorney.
Who's that?
That's our former state attorney. If you want to get her, go get her.
Please welcome Young Republicans Chairman Hayden Pageant.
Chairman of the Young Republican National Federation and proud son of the great state of Texas. More importantly, I'm a husband and father of 2 wonderful children, like 2 years old.
Hello, America. Welcome back to the home front, guys. We're having fun with our Gen Z panel. Gosh, we've talked about everything from this show, New Amsterdam, talking about how tumor growth is
racist
based
tumors.
off of racism.
Yeah. Listen, if
you're
you feel anything or you feel weird, it's not racism. I think you should go talk to your doctor.
It's a mental issue.
Holistic one.
Do not
Holistic
self-diagnose.
doctor.
If someone says
A
that you're doing
naturopath.
blackface, you need to go get checked out.
Oh my gosh.
You might
If
have
someone
cancer.
tells you have, if someone says you have a tumor from racism, then they might need to go to the doctor.
Yes.
Like they might have a mental issue or
That's
something.
perfect. That's
You
perfect.
saying I have a mental issue, Kim?
Maybe. I mean, if that's what you think. I
Do
don't
not
know.
pay your doctor for that diagnosis.
No. Demand a
Go
refund.
to the We the People
Sue
Clinic.
them.
Yes,
Go
go
to
to the We the
court.
People Clinic.
Absolutely. We've talked about selective service, how, there's not right now expanding the age to 26 and only men right now, because I think a lot of people are scared that if they include women, that I think they're afraid right now that a lot of people might identify as a woman to try to stay out of it. It's a door they've opened, Allie, that you've said. It's hard to close that once you've opened it.
Wait, if they try and make it so that way it's both boys and girls, can I identify as non-binary?
Is that a way to get out of the draft?
Can you
I'm
just
not
be
a boy or a girl.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm
Why do we
nothing.
have
Well, then
these
if you don't
options?
have, if you're not a boy or a girl, then the
Don't ask questions.
Constitution
I'm trying to
doesn't
get out
apply
of
to
the
you
draft.
So you can do whatever you
because
want.
it says
Yeah,
Wait, what?
he or she.
that's right.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
That's
but why
interesting.
do we even have
I-
these
there's
options
only
to
two
say
genders.
I'm going to identify as
Thank
something
you.
else?
Don't ask questions right
Guys,
now.
can I bring up a totally different topic just
Yes.
because my mind was blown earlier by this?
Yeah.
So I love it because lots of times Brianna will send me, or Camden, any of you really will send me, Allie's done it, send me videos. Hey, try talking about this. This was something that you sent me today, Brianna. I used to be a fan of Katy Perry's just because I loved some of her stuff, like Firework. You think of some of her early stuff. She actually came from a huge gospel and Christian background. There was an interview where she's talking about how she kind of would like to be the next Amy Grant. And Amy Grant is a huge kind of Christian pop icon. Huge in the Christian music industry going way back to like the early 80s. So I hear that and I'm like, oh, that's really cute. Then in the video,
next sentence.
yeah, she said, but I could never, in order to make it, I literally had to sell my soul to the devil.
Oh my gosh.
And then they forward to like some of her music of what she's talked about, to some of the rituals that she's doing in her music video, live performances where it's very satanic, ritualistic. What do you
She
think about
literally
that?
admits it.
Yeah, she does, and not like jokingly. It's she's in an interview talking about it.
I think everybody in the music industry somehow, some way sells their soul to the devil. I feel like that's like the only way to get big.
It gives you fame.
But like,
It's the
what does
fact
it
that
do?
it's
Like,
in politics as well. I don't think.
Probably. Yeah.
I don't think any industry, any pillar, any of the 7 pillars are safe from that.
It's the fact that
It's worldly.
It's Christianity too. Like, do you notice that? No
Yeah.
one makes fun of Muslims.
Right? Yeah. No, it's like
No
those
one,
that
no
are.
one mocks them.
But this is the devil, though. This is what he does. This is what we
Yeah.
saw, like in the Bible back
it's
in,
what he wants.
in Matthew, when in Matthew 4 or something, when Jesus is tempted by the devil like 4 times about power, about being stronger than God, doing whatever he wants. Like you can jump and whatever. This is what the devil does, and it's so obvious in the entertainment and music industry. There's so many artists that blatantly say stuff like Lil Nas and all these things.
Yeah.
But we kind of just say like it's just a joke. It's funny.
Right.
but it's not a joke.
No, that is the one unforgivable sin, is mocking.
Blasphemy of the Holy
Yeah,
Spirit.
it's blasphemy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's really there.
Yeah, don't give it any power. Because
Oof.
if you don't feed it, it
Yeah,
doesn't
then it's
grow.
not there.
So starve it.
So what do we do? Because I dearly love entertainment. Actually, I think all of you here, we've talked at one time or another, love entertainment. I think we're most like God when we create. So, you know, just the will to want to write a song or write a movie script. I think that's when we're most like God. So what do we do then?
There's space for that. We just need to step into it. I mean, if that's your calling,
You gotta be
and
unashamed.
right? And you feel pulled to do that, then do that, and just keep all the other stuff out of the way. There are people that are building the foundations right now for believers to be in these areas. You just have to find them.
Yeah.
You just have to find them.
You have to not worry about what other people might think, because that's like the secular versus the gospel stuff. People, it's meant to look like it's kind of dumb, like it's like you can get made fun of, but you just gotta step into it. Romans 1:16 says, "Do not be ashamed of the gospel." Like just step into your calling. If you're like you said, if you're made to do that, embrace it 100%.
And the doors will open.
Yes.
You won't miss your blessing. You may miss it in the time that you think you should have it, but you won't miss God's timing.
That's good.
So if this is what's been on your heart to create entertainment through whether it's Christianity or it's if that's like where you're driving it to, or if it's just coming from a faith-based background or you're using clean music or doing clean videos or things like that, then you won't miss that. Just step into it. Everything that you want to achieve is always on the other side of uncomfortable. It's always on that other side of the unknown.
Yeah.
And we talked about this, I think, in a couple episodes ago, and like we had like a full breakdown. I actually got a little teary. I like full blown was crying up backstage. But
it's true.
You know, but still, that's the point. Everything that you want to achieve is on the other side of uncomfortable. So you have to take that leap of faith and just trust in God that if He put that call in your heart to go and do something like that, to just do it. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. What matters is who you are to Him, who He calls you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when you partner with God, I look at things that I've done, that I've seen other people in my life do, and when it's unexplainable and you are the underdog, I think that's when you really set God up to be able to do God-sized things. If it's something that I could do on my own, of my own free will, it doesn't take God anything to do that. He shows up in a really big way. The Bible says you go from the end from the tail to the head. Like you become the beginning. You're the first one. You become first because God's blessing and His anointing kind of thrusts you forward. It's unexplainable. How many times do you hear people like Alfie? We had Alfie Oakes on earlier this week on an episode talking about his success with Oaks Farms and building a restaurant and marketplace called Seed to Table. You know, he put himself out there to do that, first generation, to kind of
guys,
acquire
like
that.
fear, I don't know, but fear like holds you back.
Yeah.
If you're afraid to take that step and you're afraid to step into that calling that you've been, that's on your heart to go and do something, fear will always keep you bound.
Yeah, you're not
because
going to
it's not of God.
Yes.
That's of the enemy. You have to be
That's so true.
unafraid. And Christians should be the most unafraid like people on the planet, because we know that God wins in the end, and anything can be used for good. No matter what situation you're in, it can be used for good. It can be used to teach someone. It can be used as a testimony. It can be used to reach somebody, to teach. You know what I'm saying? So like, just follow that.
And you mentioned
that's,
fear.
My own advice.
You mentioned fear. My friend Will.
I feel that right here.
My friend Will, he told me these definitions of fear. It's either face everything and rise, or fear everything and run.
Yep.
And
It's true.
yeah,
I have a
there's two
t-shirt
ways to look
that
at
says
fear.
that.
I love that. And you can't serve
My
two
ex had
masters
a
either.
tattoo of
You
that.
can't.
So
Thanks for that.
you can't. But really,
Thanks for touching a
you
soft spot
can't
over
serve
here.
two masters. So when
You
you're
can't
looking at both of those, you can see that God wants you to go one way and the devil wants you to go the other way.
Yes.
So if you embrace full on, then you can really get the blessings that God wants to do in your life.
Yes.
But you can't be half in and half out. It's got to be
And pray.
100% committed to what He
you
wants to do in
gotta
your life.
pray.
Yeah.
You have to pray about it.
And
You
that commitment
constantly.
can feel it can feel lonely. I know
Yeah.
sometimes God draws you privately for things before, as we were talking when about your topic. It can feel lonely. It can feel very, very scary. But I think
disheartening.
I'll give you an example. Allie kind of shared something in one of our off moments when we were not filming. And just her opening up about just being humble enough and I guess vulnerable enough to open up about what she was experiencing and feeling. it helps other people to heal. So I think when you put yourself in
Yeah.
that place of being vulnerable and saying, okay, I'm going through something and I'm excited about it, I'm afraid of it, I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what other people are walking through, that they're just looking to draw from your courage and strength.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And I couldn't have done it with anybody else, honestly. I feel like, you know, we're all in each other's lives for specific reasons. And I think God puts us together for those reasons.
Yeah.
And to be able to be as vulnerable, I think, as we get on this show, I don't think there's anything like it. It's healing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's raw and it's real. And I think it's because we start by asking God to be here and we end asking
we
God to
invite
be
him.
here.
And a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. That's what he says in the Bible.
A cord of 3 strands. Is not
You
easy.
should teach like a class for
He
kids.
does.
You
No.
do?
No, he doesn't.
For like your generation,
No,
like for
she's-
young males. Like,
I mean, I kind
y'all
of do a
need
little bit.
this. Like,
I should more.
seriously.
Yeah, I gotta do more.
Those need to be like your. That I feel like
But-
that might be your calling there, babe.
Thank
like
you.
You're just
see.
But really, God puts people in our lives for a reason. If we
Mhm.
trust Him and trust each other, and He'll use us however He wants to.
I could see you as a youth pastor.
Me
Thank
too.
you. Thank you.
See, there you go.
That's good.
I love that.
I'm getting
Our
good
lips-
godly
from our
vibes.
lips to God's ears. Yay! We love it. Hey, you know what? We're all out of time. We're gonna pray here in a moment. Would you mind leading us in prayer? So guys, go to the homefront.tv. Make sure you subscribe.
Perfect.
Also, thank you to Cape Hayes Tavern for all their yummy food. You can see them at capehaystavern.com.
Follow us on all social media, and don't
Yes.
forget to join our Homefront Defenders on Facebook.
Amen.
We want to
Yes.
talk to you.
We do. Thank you so much. And let's let Camden go ahead and lead us out in prayer today.
Don't mess up now.
I can't. We're just talking to God. I can't mess up.
I love it.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity that we get to come on here and be vulnerable and share with each other and push each other to be better. I pray for our country, first of all, of everything going on. God, I know that you are in control no matter what it looks like. And I think we just got to put our faith in you. So Jesus, thank you for what you're doing. Even when we can't see it, we know you're working. So I pray for our country. I pray for the soldiers and everyone that's serving, that it's out of their control.
Yes.
We know that you're protecting them and that your hand is on them. So Jesus, just protect them and fuel us to be bold and keep sharing your name and never stop or back down from what you're calling us to do. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen.
Amen.
So Take that courage and that bravery, guys. Go out there and get it done. We'll see you next time right here on the Homefront. Take care.
Bye.